Today's lesson is called Mindfulness, a Road to Happiness. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
I am Roger, and today we're talking about something called mindfulness, which is a kind of road to happiness. Okay, maybe you're kind of unsatisfied with your life because it's gotten too busy with work or school, and perhaps today we're going to offer you a possible solution to, relax a little bit and enjoy your life more.
Yeah, but we're not going to be getting into a car and driving anywhere. Here, we're not saying that, yes, you can jump in your car and take this road to happiness known as mindfulness. No, we're not being literal here. A road to something here is a way to do something. So if you want to be happy, practice mindfulness. It's a way to become happy. It's a road to happiness. Anyways, with that, folks, it's time for us to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll get to the bottom of this. What the heck is mindfulness, and how is it going to make us happy? Yes, we'll be answering these questions right after this.
Mindfulness, a road to happiness. There is beauty in each moment of our lives, but often we're too distracted to notice it. Instead, we spend much of our time worrying about the future or regretting the past, and this habit can have negative consequences for our mental and physical health.
大家好，第一部分我们看到的单字是 distracted， 这个字是形容词，指分心的、心烦意乱的。例如 Phil was distracted, so he didn't realize that he had stepped into a deep puddle.Phil 不专心，所以他没发现他踩进很深的一滩水洼里了。而 distracted 去除字尾的 ed 则可以成为它的动词 distract， 指使分心，使转移注意力。我们可以说 Patrick gets distracted easily, so don't talk to him while he's working. Patrick 很容易分心，所以不要在他工作时与他说话。再来，我们看到一个形容词 physical， 在课文中指身体的，像是 If you want to lose weight, you need to do more physical exercise. 如果你想要减重，就得多做一些体能运动。而这个字除了有上述的意思外，还可以指实体的，所以可以说 Make sure you see the physical item before you hand the seller the money. 把钱交给卖家之前，要确认你有看到实体商品。
Okay, so again, as promised, we're going to talk about mindfulness here. It's a road to happiness. And I think the first paragraph here, or subsequent paragraphs, will tell us exactly what mindfulness is. Mindful itself just means you pay attention to things, be mindful of traffic, for example, or be careful there, be aware of those things. In this particular case, mindfulness refers to being in the moment, basically. But again, as I said, we'll talk about that definition as we continue. So here in the first paragraph, it says, there is beauty in each moment of our lives, but often we're too distracted to notice it. Yes, indeed. We're distracted sometimes because we've got all these responsibilities and all these duties and all these things we need to do. We need to, be loyal to our families, and we need to go to work and to school and study and do homework and do work assignments and things like that, get stuck in traffic or whatever, or play games on our smartphones. We are so distracted to notice the beauty in each moment of our lives. We don't stop and smell the roses.
There you go. That's a very good saying, to stop and smell the roses. Every once in a while, you need to take a step back from your busy, hectic modern life and appreciate the small things in life, like the smell of roses. Stop. Maybe you're walking somewhere, you're walking quickly to get to an appointment, and you're thinking, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. No, in those situations, sometimes you should just stop, take a step back and be mindful and notice that there is beauty in every moment of our lives. So yes, stop where you're going, or stop walking. Don't go where you're going right away, and go ahead and stop and smell those figurative roses. Find that simple beauty that can be found in every moment of your life. Anyways, yes, there is beauty everywhere, in every moment, but often we're not paying attention. Often we're too distracted by things to notice this beauty. Yes, instead, we spend much of our time worrying about the future or regretting the past. And this habit can have negative consequences for our mental and physical health. Yes, if you regret the past, it might make you sad. You might think about the things that you didn't do or bad things that you did do, and that can make you feel bad. It might even make you feel depressed. And yes, if you're worrying about the future all the time, well, you are going to be super anxious. Yes, if you have anxiety or if you are anxious, that means you're worried about the future. You think that something bad is going to happen to you, even though you've got no real reason to believe that that thing is going to actually happen. So yes, here, if you do spend your time doing these things, okay, if you make this a habit, this can have a negative consequence for you, okay? These things can have negative consequences for your mental and physical health. And earlier I talked about anxiety and depression. Those things would have to do with mental health. But get this, apparently worrying about these things or regretting the past, it can also have ramifications or consequences for your physical health. It can be unhealthy for your body. How about that? Now, I just use the word ramification or consequence. Yes, a consequence is kind of like a ramification, but that's a big fancy word. Let's simplify things. A consequence is a result or an effect, E-F-F-E-C-T, that follows from some other thing or from some cause or from some action or something like that.
Right, so for example, I am afraid of the dentist, like most people. But what is the consequence of not seeing the dentist? Well, you might get cavities, and you might eventually have to have root canal done on several of your teeth. That's the consequence of not going to see the dentist often. Or, if you don't brush your teeth every day, then the consequences are that you would probably have to have lots of cavities and lots of root canals done on your teeth. Ooh, that sounds so painful. But yes, indeed, this habit of not paying attention to the beauty around you could have negative consequences for your mental health. If you keep concentrating on your work, on your studies, and you worry about the past and you worry about the future, well, that could have bad effects or bad consequences on your mental health. You might be depressed, and your physical health, my goodness, you might get heart disease, or heaven forbid, you might get cancer. So watch out for that. Okay, that brings us to the end of our first paragraph. Let's go on to the second part of our lesson right now.
That's why many people today are turning to the practice of mindfulness. Simply put, mindfulness means focusing on the present moment. Let's say you're sitting in traffic after a long day's work. Rather than dwelling on an unpleasant incident that occurred earlier or worrying about your schedule for the next day, you might direct your attention to the sound of the raindrops battering the windshield or to a specific image before you. By directing your attention to the here and now, you automatically shift your focus away from self-image, success, and other stress-inducing concerns.
第二部分我们看到 batter 这个字为动词，有拍打、连续猛击之意。举例来说 ，Waves battered a small boat as it entered the harbor. 海浪拍打着进港的小船。再来，我们看到一个单字 shift， 这个字在课文中为动词，有转换、改变的意思。像是 Zach refused to admit he made a mistake and shifted all the blame on his colleague Sean.Zach 拒绝承认他犯了错，然后还将所有的责任归咎给他的同事 Sean。而 shift 除了可以当动词之外，还可以做名词使用，有以下两个意思。首先 shift 可以指变换、更动、转移。举例来说 There has been a shift in thought as to whether this type of food is healthy. 关于这类食物是否健康的观念有所改变。 另外 shift 还可以指轮班，我们可以说 Tom used to work 12-hour shifts at a Japanese restaurant. Tom 以前在一家日本料理餐厅上12小时的班。接着我们看到一个单字 self-image， 这个字是名词，指自我形象。例如 Chris has low self-image and worries too much about what others think of him. Chris 对于自我的肯定较低，而且过度担心别人对他的看法。
Okay, these days, people spend way too much time worrying about the future or regretting the past and stuff like that. They've made these practices habits, okay, and these habits are not good for us. They can kill us. They can make us mentally ill or even physically ill. How about that? And that's why people, or that's why many people today, I should say, are turning to the practice of mindfulness, okay? They don't want these modern distractions to ruin their lives. They want to be more present in the moment and realize that there is beauty in each and every moment of their lives. That's why people are turning to the practice of mindfulness. It's going to solve their problems and allow them to stop and smell the figurative roses. Anyways, it says here that people are turning to this. They're turning to the practice of mindfulness. But what does it mean to turn to something? Here, we're not talking about directing a car with the steering wheel. Yeah, turn right, turn left. 右转, 左转. No. To turn to something here is to start doing something. It's to start using something as well. And you're doing this because other options might not be available or because there's very little else that you can do. So yes, some people have despaired. Oh, am I going to be distracted by my busy life all the time? What am I going to do? Well, here they're going to turn to mindfulness. This is the one thing that's left maybe that's going to help them to solve their problems.
Right, so you might be worried about having a nervous life. You're worried about the past. You're worried about the future. So some people are choosing this practice here. They're turning to the practice of mindfulness. Okay, there's the word. That's the word in the title here. So let's define mindfulness here. Simply put, you could also say to put it simply, mindfulness means focusing on the present moment. It's that simple here, just not worrying so much about the past and not worrying so much about the future, focusing on the present moment. And that's often something that people in various religions try to strive for, especially if you're a Buddhist. You always try to focus on the here and now, live in the moment. So that's what mindfulness here That's what it means here to focus on the present moment, right now.
Wow, that is simple. Wow, did they ever put that simply? Yes, simply put means to make it simple. And this also reminds me of one of my favorite phrases, okay? In a nutshell, if someone wants to say something really simple, if they want to boil something down to its basic elements, to its foundations, they can use this phrase, either simply put or in a nutshell. Anyways, let's move on. Simply put, mindfulness means that you're focusing on the present moment. So, let's say you're sitting in traffic after a long day's work. Well, how do you practice mindfulness? You practice mindfulness by focusing on something around you and not on something bad that's going to make you unhappy. So, rather than dwelling on an unpleasant incident that occurred earlier or worrying about your schedule for the next day, you might direct your attention to the sound of raindrops battering the windshield or to a specific image before you. You focus on these things. You're mindful of these things and try to gain satisfaction from these things rather than dwelling or thinking too much about something bad, like a negative or unpleasant incident. By the way, the word incident, well, it refers to something that happens. Yeah, an incident is kind of like an event. That being said, though, usually when we're talking about an incident, when we use this word incident, we're talking about something that is noteworthy or remarkable that happened to you or which occurred with you.
Exactly. So, yes, maybe in the office, your coworker said something rude to you or said something to the boss bad about you. So, my goodness, you just couldn't stop thinking about that thing. You're just dwelling on that thing all day long. Yes, it's an incident that occurred or happened earlier in the day. Incident could also refer to some kind of event or happening like the Mei Li Dao incident that happened in Kaohsiung several years ago. But in this particular case, we're talking about something that happened earlier in the day, or perhaps you're worried about your schedule for the next day. Gee, I've got to go out and tour the factory in Taoyuan, and I've got to meet with a client at this particular time, and I've got to get back in time for a meeting with the boss, and if I'm late, he's going to be mad, and he's going to fire me and cut my salary and stuff like that. So my goodness, you might be dwelling on all these things. So instead of doing that, you might direct your attention to the sound of the raindrops battering the windshield. So yes, you might do that. That's a possible solution. Direct your attention or focus on this thing. Pay attention to something. Listen to the sound of the raindrops battering the windshield. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. In this particular case, though, the raindrops are battering the windshield. Batter here as a verb just means to strike something. The raindrops are just simply hitting the windshield or wind screen. And basically, it's making all these sounds that can be actually quite pleasant and quite relaxing.
If you choose to pay attention to them. If you want to instead focus on something negative or dwell on something bad, you're going to miss out on these little pleasures in life, like raindrops battering your windshield. And by the way, the raindrop thing, it's for real. Some people say they can't really fall asleep without the sound of raindrops. They love it when it rains, and sometimes they actually have recordings of raindrops and rainstorms that they play so they can fall asleep at night. Yes, raindrops, or the sound, I should say, of raindrops can be very relaxing. They can help you fall asleep well. Anyways, let's move on. The next sentence says, by directing your attention to the here and now, you automatically shift your focus away from self-image, success, and other stress-inducing concerns. So if you choose to seize the moment, you should be able to get away from those stress-inducing concerns in your life.
That's right. So focus on the raindrops, perhaps as an example, or look at something ahead of you. Watch the people crossing the street or the way the signs are posted along the side of the road or something like that. Yes, shift your focus away from your self-image, how you see yourself. You change your focus. You look at something else. Don't worry about your success. And also don't worry about other concerns or worries that are stress-inducing. These things bring about stress. They cause pressure. They cause your blood pressure to go up. Your stress levels increase, and you could be really, really sick as a result. So if you do these things, if you focus on the here and now, the present moment, then you'll feel a lot better. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson. Let's listen now to the third part.
Such a shift in consciousness helps us form more meaningful connections with others and handle problems with greater ease. It also lets us appreciate life's many little pleasures. So it's not surprising that mindfulness has been found to help in the treatment of depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and even physical problems related to stress, such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and upset stomachs.
最后第三部分我们看到 depression 这个字为名词，用来指忧郁症、沮丧、消沉。像是 The artist, though fighting depression for most of his life, still created many brilliant works. 尽管大半生都在与忧郁症搏斗，这位艺术家仍创作出诸多杰作。又或者说 Tiffany experienced a period of depression after all her college applications had been rejected. 在 Tiffany 所有的大学申请都被拒绝之后，她有一段时间意志消沉。
All right, mindfulness. There's not that much to it. Okay, if you're mindful, if you practice mindfulness, it means that you focus on the present moment. You seize the moment or you seize the day, and you shift your focus away from things that are bad for you, stress-inducing concerns and things like that. And yes, such a shift in consciousness helps us form more meaningful connections with others and handle problems with greater ease. And that's not all. It also lets us appreciate life's many little pleasures, like the scent of roses or the sound of raindrops.
Indeed. So yes, shift your consciousness, shift your focus, and you can have those better connections with other people, and you can handle your problems easily, with greater ease. That just means to do something more easily, and it's not so difficult. So again, that lets you have a better life, a happier life. So it's not surprising that mindfulness has been found to help in the treatment of depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and even physical problems related to stress, such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and upset stomachs. Probably even causes skin rashes or things like that. So again, mindfulness can help you with depression if you're suffering from periods of sadness. It can help you with anxiety, which is basically too much worry, worrying too much about things. You might have an eating disorder where you probably try to fast all day long or something because you're afraid you're getting fat, or maybe you're eating too much. You're binge eating. And you also might have some other physical problems.
Yes, here a disorder is similar to a disease or an illness. Yeah, a disorder is a health condition that keeps you from acting or functioning in your normal way. Anyways, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't worry, the Chinese teacher is on her way.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天文法重点。课文第二部分告诉我们什么叫做正念。正念就是指说专注在当下。那它就有假设一个情况啊，当你经过漫长一天的工作之后被困在车阵里面，他就说 Rather than dwelling on an unpleasant incident that occurred earlier or worrying about your schedule for the next day, you might direct your attention to 什么什么。不要一直想着先前发生的不愉快事件，或是去担心隔天的日程安排，你也许可以将注意力转移到什么什么。好，这边用到一个单字 incident， 我们来学习它的字首字根。好 CID 这个字根它有 fall 降落落下的意思，那接着它又从降落延伸出发生或是降临的语义。那么在 incident 这个字当中，字首 in 表示进入， CID 表示发生，然后 ENT 是名词字尾，所以合在一起 incident 就可以用来表达事件事故，会发生的就是事情嘛。好，同学们看到这个单字应该会联想到 accident， accident 对不对？好， accident 它的字首 AC 表示朝向，那 AC 就是因为 AD 碰到 C 开头的字根，所以才会拼成 AC。 同样的 CID 表示发生， ENT 是名词字尾，那同学们就可以想象某个事故降临在某人身上，朝向某人发生的时候，这个 accident 就是表达意外事故。好，另外介绍两个片语。第一个是 rather than， 它可以当连接词或是当介系词。rather than 当连接词的时候，它表达而非什么，而不是什么。那它是用来连接词性相同的字词。举例来说 ，She wants to be an actress rather than a lawyer。他想成为一位演员，而不是律师。那要特别注意的是，如果你用 rather than 来连接不定词片语，也就是连接 to 加原形动词的话， rather than 后方的那个不定词 to 通常会省略。像是 He prefers to go jogging in the park rather than work out at a gym。 他比较喜欢在公园慢跑，而不是在健身房运动。那我们这个 rather than work out at a gym， 这个 work out 前面就省略了 to。好，那 rather than 当介系词的时候，它用来表达用来代替什么什么，之后是要接名词或动名词，这时候它的意思就相当于 instead of。 那我们课文就是这个用法。例如 rather than taking a taxi they walked home， 他们走路回家，取代搭计程车。好，那第二个要介绍的片语是dwell on something， 或者是 dwell upon something。 Dwell 这个动词呢，它是指生活或是存在于什么，那么后面接介系词 on 或是 upon 再加某事物，就可以用来表达沉湎于什么，一直沉浸在什么，老是想着什么。那这通常是指不断去回想不愉快或是负面的事情。例如 Stop dwelling on your mistakes， 意思就是叫对方不要一直沉浸在自己的过错里面。那顺便补充一下，在 dwell 后面加上 er 变成 dweller， 就可以用来表达居住者或是居民。像我们说 a city dweller 就是指住在城市的居民。那如果你在 dwell 后面加上 ing 变成 dwelling， 它是当名词用来表达居住啊、家或是住所。像我们说 modern dwellings 就表示现代住宅。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Consequence. One consequence of higher temperatures in the winter is less snowfall. Physical. The children were well nourished and in good physical condition. Incident. I'm trying to forget about that embarrassing incident. Batter. The police battered the door until it broke and they were able to enter the building. Shift. We've been working on this all afternoon, so let's shift our attention to something else for a while. Depression. If you have depression, it can be hard to ask somebody for help. Anxiety. Not getting enough sleep will make your anxiety worse. Disorder. Certain disorders can be passed down from parents to children.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.